The theme that stood out to me this week, and it begins as the obvious one, is the call to be in solidarity with those who are poor and marginalized. In our social, ecclesial, and political institutions, the scales are tipped tremendously against those who are desperate to make ends meet, who might be willing to trade their time, their bodies, their talents for, as the scriptures say, merely a pair of sandals. But the readings this week could not be clearer. We as Catholics are called to rectify this. We are called to work for justice in our personal lives as well as within the systems that we live, so that those on the margins are not exploited and can flourish. At the same time, Paul reminds us to pray continuously for our leaders, whether we feel that they are just or not, because God wills everyone to be saved. So rather than succumbing to hatred or frustration or animosity towards those we believe are unjust, we are called to pray for their change of heart, even as we work to change the systems. As Paul writes in his letter to Timothy, "In every place the men should pray, without anger or argument." What readers might not realize, though, is that Paul here is talking specifically to men, not human beings generally. He uses the Greek andros instead of the more inclusive anthropos. We might be tempted just to change our interpretation so that it's more inclusive and talks to women as well. We are all called to reconciliatory prayer, and this is true. But God raises up the lowly from the dust, we read, and to ignore the misogyny at work here, to fail to grapple with it, is just to sweep it under the rug. And misogyny it is. In fact, in Paul's next paragraph, he gives instructions specifically to women. Women are to dress modestly, perform good works, receive instruction silently and under complete control, and have no authority over men. His reasons: Adam was made first, and Eve was the one who was deceived and transgressed. In other words, Adam, or males, are fully made in the image of God, fully rational beings. Women are marked by their sensual physicality. There is good news, however, he tells us. Women will be saved through motherhood, provided we persevere in faith and love and holiness and with self-control. Now, as a mother, I am sympathetic to this latter claim. Motherhood is baptism by fire. But we see here the dualism the early church perpetuated between men, who they saw as fully rational human beings, and women, again marked by sensual physicality. Still, throughout church history, women of faith have offered themselves, their time, their talents, their bodies, in service. Women were with Jesus when he died. Women were the first to witness the resurrection and to preach that good news. And today, women are the backbone of parishes everywhere, invigorating the faith and the church. Women have remained trustworthy in small matters. I often wonder when we will begin to trust women with great ones. But here's the thing, in thinking about how we grapple with this, Paul tells us that Christ is our mediator. And this obviously applies to the divinity and the human, right? Christ mediates that divide between God and humans. But it also applies to every dualism we try to maintain between male-female, clergy-lay, mind-body, spirit-matter, right? All of these in the incarnate Christ are brought together in unity. Christ, the master of the gospel parable, invites us to steward the world toward its fullness by inviting all people and our non-human neighbors to share their gifts without exploitation or exclusion in our church and in society at large. In the meantime, as we work for that, let us pray for our leaders and for the unity of the Spirit that is the saving grace of all.